Mojtaba Khamenei stayed in the background for years, until everything changed. After the death of his father, Ali Khamenei, he stepped into a position that few will ever reach. This video looks at the timing of his birth chart, the moment he rose into power, and what could be ahead for him as the new supreme leader. If you guys could please hit that like and subscribe button, it would help to get this video out to more beautiful viewers like you. And if you're interested in an astrology reading, my link is in the description below. Schedule an astrology reading so we can take a look at your future, your present, and even your past. I'm looking at Mojtaba Khamenei today. He is the new supreme leader of Iran, and he came into office March 8th, 2026 as the third supreme leader of Iran. A little bit of background of him: he taught theology in the Qom seminary from 2004. In 1987, he was part of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. He finished high school when he was 17, and he took part of several operations in the Iran-Iraq War as well. Looking at his birth chart, I'm using whole sign astrology. His birth date is September 8th, 1969. We do not know the time of birth. So what I did was I looked at his father's death and when he came into power of Iran. I looked at those charts to see how his astrology chart was looking at different various times. I did come to 11 o'clock as being a possible time that he was born. Again, I do not know the exact time. No one knows the exact time that he was born. His sun is in Virgo, and the south node is next to his sun. And the south node is next to his natal Pluto. That is coming from power, family of power that he's born into. In Libra, he has Uranus, Jupiter, and Mercury. Jupiter is next to Uranus. Sudden change of career paths, sudden change of daily routines. Health could also have sudden, unpredictable changes as well. And Mercury. Mercury is also in the 6th house. It is next to Jupiter. It's not next to Mars, it's next to Jupiter. Mercury next to Jupiter. His mind is very expansive, always wanting to learn new things. He taught religious studies, an advanced course in that, Qom, I believe it was. So he's always wanting to learn about maybe different religions, different histories of different people. Neptune is in Scorpio, learning the darker sides of things, learning relationships, digging for the truth of relationships. Research seems to be something that he does and is very good at. Being able to study the details, know the details, learn and memorize details. His mind seems like it's very advanced. He can learn things very instantly. With Neptune in Scorpio and the 7th house, partnerships could be difficult, could be different. He could, obsessive, I guess I want to say is the word. It could be obsessive with different relationships, partnerships. I want to say you could also study relationships. Yeah, you could study relationships, know them very well. I want to say like another undercover agent, being able to blend in where he needs to blend in and being able to infiltrate. That's the word. He can infiltrate different partnerships and relationships, get to the bottom of different situations. Mars is in Sagittarius. Now, if this chart is correct, it's in the 8th house. Action in deep knowledge. Sagittarius rules the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter in his 6th house in Libra. Knowledge, researching and knowledgeable, learning about things is something that he seems to be very strong with. So he is a leader now. He can learn the enemy, strategies, strategize. He seems to be a very good strategist. The 10th house is in Aquarius. Different, doing things differently, having a different mark on the world. And I say different, I mean out of the box thinking. So while his father did rule one way, he could be actually ruling a different way. He has a different way of going about things, different path for his career or path in life, we'll say, path in life. Moving back to Mars quickly, this could also be military strategist, planning military attacks, strategizing the military. Back to the 10th house, or 10th house in Aquarius. Long-term thinking, long-term strategies, because Virgo is where his sun is. Long-term thinking, planning for the future. Something technical, could be very technical savvy. The North Node is in Pisces. This is in the 11th house, again, if this is true or correct. Networks of people, but not so much the 11th house, the North Node in Pisces. Wanting to blend the old generations and this new generation, especially within his leadership. But the North Node in Pisces is taking a direction that is more philanthropy for the people, leadership, but in a different way. It's the spiritual side, because we saw that he did these religious studies that is part of his destiny, is to go into more of a spiritual calling. Chiron is in Aries in the 12th house. Mentally, psychologically, he could get down on himself, very hard on himself. While he was born into a family of power, his father was the supreme leader, there could be this guilt that he has mentally. What do I mean by that? Some people, not all, but if they're born into a very wealthy family, sometimes they feel guilt that they were given everything for their whole lives. And that could be where the North Node comes in, where they're wanting to help people who are less fortunate than them. And that could be part of this Pisces North Node, helping the less fortunate than him. Setting up schools for children or schools for children or something, shelters for people who are less fortunate. Saturn is in the first house of Taurus, or Saturn is in Taurus. His father could have been very strict. He could have been very strict, very lay down the rules, very, very structured life for him as he was growing up. But he does seem to be himself, could be more of a grounded person. Maybe not so hot-headed as his father, someone that you could feel like you could talk to and have a communication with and not be so afraid of him. Very personable he could be. Lilith is in Cancer. Emotional ties, emotional secrets, communication, emotional. So as a result of his father maybe being very strict, very coming down on them very hard, being more of a stricter, militant type of father. There could be secrets secrets in the background. Obviously, things go on in the household that maybe he didn't want to share, or he has never shared, or will never share. Family secrets could be within his family as well, maybe aunts, uncles, cousins, something that is hidden in the depths, and it could be emotional towards him, like he's hiding something. And I could go into Chiron here in Aries, in Aries. Maybe mentally, say mental torture, but mentally hiding different family events that have happened in life. And it's left a scar on him. It could also be communicating the traumas of his country, of his people. Maybe helping people to heal. There's this healing quality to him that it's like it seems as if he likes to learn about other religions, other world religions, and also maybe learning the mistakes of the past to help the country and the people to move forwards, to heal the people. The moon is here. Now it's on his IC. Again, I picked the time purposely for a reason. And this is part of the reasons. On the IC line, it's in Leo. The mother could have been the king of the household or the queen of the household. Venus is next to the moon, possibly a very close relationship with his mother. But aside from that, home is very important to him. He's comfortable at home, comfortable not in the spotlight. He is a supreme leader now. He was put there because his father passed away, but being out of the spotlight is a theme here. The sun is in the lower part of the chart, the nighttime part of the chart. So he does feel more comfortable out of the spotlight, not in the spotlight, but he was put there, surprisingly, suddenly. But home is where he feels comfortable out of the spotlight. The first house with Saturn in it, or in Taurus, is very grounded, wanting to stick to the rules, the traditions of the country. But with the Aquarius at the top of the chart here, at 7 degrees, wanting to build new relationships, doing things in a different way, looking at the future further, figuring out how to adapt the country to the future, or to update maybe some parts of the country, doing things differently than the generation of his father. North Node in Pisces, having a very humble outlook, wanting to help everybody and have everybody okay, blurring the boundaries maybe of society's status in Iran. Emotional. He could be ruling from an emotional standpoint. He can, because it's in Aquarius, the 10th house, he can detach from the emotions and get done whatever needs to get done. With the moon, though, in Leo, that could mean that his emotions rule him. So while he can detach himself, there are certain things that can trigger his emotions, and as a result of that, he could act out those emotions. Neptune in Scorpio. That is deeply going into the emotions, into the relationships, very attached to certain people, maybe in part of his cabinet, the ruling people. Revenge type of qualities. So while he can be a detached type of leader where he can see, okay, what needs to get done and separate the emotions, things trigger him, there could be this revenge type of quality to him side as well. Perhaps wanting to get revenge on the people who have harmed their country, it could be. Forming new alliances with other countries. With Neptune and Scorpio, very investigative. He could do deep background checks maybe on people or investigate the situation before he makes a commitment. And that could be with the alliances. Maybe if he wants to form new alliances, he has to investigate it, research it first before he goes and makes decisions, which is a good thing, I would say, as a leader, because you want to know your allies. But he also seems to want to know the enemy. Who are they? Research them, learn their tactics, learn their moves. And because he is smart and he does soak up information like a sponge, behind the scene, the tactics of war, he could be very good with that, knowing the enemy so well that he knows and maybe can almost predict the moves, the next moves, and that could be an advantage for him. The type of ruler that he is with Saturn in the first house, very serious, he seems to be. Very serious type of person. Yes, he is different than his father because he looks at the future different, the future of the country differently, but very serious as well. February 28th is the day that Israel and the United States attacked Iran when this war began. This is the day that his father passed away. Uranus was next to his ascendant. Sudden change in his life, affecting who he is, affecting him as a person. The 8th house is in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is in the 3rd house is in Cancer, with the moon at 29 degrees. The moon rules Cancer, emotional. Jupiter in Cancer, it is a change of communication with his father. His father was suddenly passed away. Lilith was in Sagittarius. Deep sadness. This could also be showing this revenge, wanting to maybe get revenge on whoever did kill his father. Pluto was in Aquarius, next to or close to his midheaven. Powerful change in his life, powerful change of direction in his life. Now, I'm not sure if he knew that he was going to be the supreme leader at this point. This is also indicating him coming into a new power. Mars, there was active aggression that killed his father. His father was a supreme leader, the leader of Iran. Saturn and Neptune at 1 degrees in the 12th house of Aries. Sudden ending, sudden death, a realization that has come to him that his father did pass away. Sudden interruption in his life, blurring the boundaries of life and death. Mars here at the top in his 10th house in Aquarius at 28 degrees, ending of his father's life in a sudden, violent way. Now, he also got hurt on this day. South Node was in the 5th house in Virgo. Actions taken, bombings, actions taken. I think this Uranus and Jupiter and Lilith and Pluto are the main points to look at. Uranus next to the ascendant, sudden change, a shocking change to him. Mars, aggression, active aggression that has hurt him. Now it hurt his foot, and I believe it was his eye or his head that was also injured from bombs that were dropped. Lilith here is showing, I feel that it's also showing this wanting to take revenge on whoever did kill him, his father. The sun was in Pisces. The North Node was next to the sun. They were conjunct. A new direction, a new change for him. And Neptune and Saturn were opposite of his natal Uranus. Sudden, shocking change with his father. Sudden power struggles, power changes. But with Saturn and Neptune next to Pluto, it's showing war as an act of war that killed his father. Uranus was opposite to natal Neptune. Uranus opposite natal Neptune, descendant. Sudden ending of his relationship with his father. And Mercury and Venus were at 22 degrees, squaring his natal Mars, which is at 22 degrees. Okay. 22 degrees is that degree of to end or be ended. Mars is at 22 degrees in Sagittarius. Sudden ending of his activity, killing his father. They were conjunct the North Node, so it could have been a destined type of something destined for him, possibly. His father passed away, and now this new destiny is upon him. March 8th, this is the day that he was voted in or came into power as the supreme leader, the third supreme leader of Iran. Uranus was still next to his ascendant. Pluto was at the top here, coming into a conjunction with his midhaven. Now it's 3 degrees away from the midhaven, but that is still close to it, showing power, coming into power, powerful changes in his life, transformation of power. Uranus here is that sudden change of who he is, and it was here when his father passed away, but it's also showing sudden change in his role of his life, suddenly being looked at as the new supreme leader. His sun was opposite to his sun, and Mercury was opposite to his sun. Maybe it was a struggle for him to become the leader. Perhaps he did not want to be the leader, but he had to be the leader. He was voted in, forced type of leader. He didn't run for power. He was voted into being power, and perhaps there was some opposition to it on his part. Or it could be showing that he came in here aggressively. The sun was next, and the Mercury was next to his natal North Node. Change of direction in his life. But yet it's opposite the South Node, so perhaps him being in power was not his first choice. And maybe there is some conflict with what he wants or who he is. Transiting moon was in Scorpio, 7th house, squaring to his natal moon and natal Venus. It seemed like there was some oppositions, some challenges in his life. He became a leader as a result of his father passing away. Possibly being in power is challenging his emotions, pushing him into a new direction of maybe where he's not so comfortable. As a result of that, it could make his leadership very challenging. What I mean by that is the sun and Mercury opposite to the South Node. He's moving in the opposite direction of what he is used to. And that, for him, could give challenges. North Node and Mars in Pisces. Action was taken to put him into this position of power. Him being the leader of Iran now, Saturn and Neptune are still opposite his natal Uranus in the 6th house. Military, coming into a place in Iran where it is a war going on. Military type of leadership. He could run the country in more of a militant type of way. Or perhaps he is active, aggressive type of changes. He could maybe make active, aggressive changes in Iran. But with Saturn and Neptune conjunct each other, in the time of war that he's gone into power, he could be still leading with this military type of leadership. Or he could face many challenges in being the leader because the country is in a state of war. That could be how he's running is through this military way. And it's very challenged. He came into a place of power where there's a war going on. Moon squaring the moon, his emotions have been triggered. He came into this as a result of his father dying. So he is emotionally upset. And those emotions with the moon here could be how he is ruling. He's ruling with his emotions as opposed to ruling from that objective type of way with Aquarius, being able to step aside and step away from his emotions. He could be ruling from his emotions. And the alliances that he makes could be as a result of the emotional issues that have traumas that have surrounded him coming into power. I see him as being more of an aggressive type of leader. Different than his father. He's coming into it where he is upset possibly that his father passed away. And as a result of those emotions, he will make those decisions, which with the new alliances, which could be problematic. Making decisions from an emotional state of mind instead of from being able to separate the emotions and being a leader. But very powerful status that he's come into. Venus was also opposite his natal Uranus. A passion. He could be very passionate or passionately trying to get back at people who have hurt his father. And again, as a result of that, he's leading from a place where he is passionate and emotional about. So the decisions that he makes and the alliances and the strategies that he's doing militarily will affect his leadership. They will dictate how he is leading right now. Sudden surprising challenges could come up. Sudden shocking changes could come up. Uranus opposite natal Neptune, the partnerships. Military strikes against the opposition. Strategic attacks against the opposition. So leader-wise, very powerful position that he's in. He came into it as a result of his father passing away. Sudden change of his direction of life. But leading from an emotional mindset. Making attacks, military strategies will be a big part of his rule, military, and trying to get back revenge on the people who have killed his father. And I know there have been talks about peace and trying to make a deal between Iran and the United States and Israel, but I don't see that happening very quickly for the fact that he is emotional. He's leading from his emotions right now. And as a result of that, he's going to want to get this revenge on the people who have hurt his father, have killed him, have hurt his country. And there will be opposition. There will be many challenges that he is facing and dealing with. He is being challenged to rule, to lead. That's all I'm going to do for right now. I will look further into his charts for other upcoming transits that occur. I just wanted to take a look at who he was, where he's going, and what type of ruler he is, and how this affects this war with Iran and the United States and Israel. If you would like an astrology reading, please click the link in the description and we can talk about your past, your present, your future, and see how you would like it to unfold. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and share.